Hey guys, this is my second unscripted video and I'm going to be talking about Baby Driver. Hope you guys like it. So Baby Driver, I feel like was almost doomed from the outset for me. It just has so many expectations that it has to hold. I love musicals. I've seen Book of Mormon, Wicked, Jersey Boys, Mamma Mia, and a lot more in person. And I love them all. I love music. I've been playing since I've been in kindergarten, so that's almost 20 years now. I love Edgar Wright. I love Scott Pilgrim. That's probably one of my favorite movies of all time, and the Cornetto trilogy. And I love action movies, and you can tell from my videos with like the anatomy of a fight scene and stuff like that. So when Edgar Wright announced Baby Driver, I was so excited because it's an action movie, it has car chases, it's driven by music, and directed by Edgar Wright. And it just sounds too good to be true. And I was really afraid because all of those things in of itself are very, very difficult to film. So action movies are super hard to film. There's always so much preparation to actually create an action scene. And the same thing with car chases. Car chases usually take so much preparation to actually film. Again, with the music, so musicals and stuff like that are super choreographed and constantly rehearsed over and over and over again to actually do that. And Edgar Wright movies in general are pretty hard to film too, because he usually likes to make things very rhythmic and very, very on point with like camera pans and zooms and stuff like that. So when you get all of these things and combine it, it makes probably the most difficult movie in all of movies. Well, not really, but it's really hard to make. But I feel like if anybody could do it, Edgar Wright could. So I liked Baby Driver, and I liked it a lot, but I didn't love it. So let's break this down. So I really liked all the action scenes and the car chases. They're filmed really well, they're exciting, and they're new, and also were filmed practically. So any CGI in the movie is just meant to enhance the practical filming of it. The best scenes and my favorite scenes in the entire movie is the shootout at the gun dealer and the coffee scene when Baby goes out and gets coffee for the whole crew. And those two scenes are my favorite because of one reason. They're driven by the music. They're not just supported by music. And that's what most other movies do. They play music to support the characters and theme and just the tone of what's happening at the time. But these two scenes are actually just driven by what music is playing. So for example, in the shootout, the shooting sound, like the bangs and like the bullets pinging off of metal and like explosions and people getting killed and like getting hit and stuff like that are all strung together in a groove. So it's like bang, bang, ping, bang, boom, kill, bang, bang. And it generates an actual flow and music from the sound effects and from the Foley team. And that's what makes it really exciting to watch. The coffee scene is the exact same thing, but instead of grooving with sound effects, it actually does the same thing with visuals. And so when Baby's walking through the neighborhood to go get the coffee, he encounters a bunch of people playing music and like dancing and tapping their foot and stuff like that, all along to the tempo or to the same exact key of the song that he's listening to. And it's all done in one shot too, which is really fucking impressive. So what happens in the rest of the movie is that the music doesn't drive the scenes, but it just supports it. So it's like a Guardians of the Galaxy, or it's like a Quentin Tarantino movie. And I'm not using those two types of movies as a derogatory term, but it just goes away from what the movie was marketed to be. Alright, I'm gonna go into spoilers, and for everybody that hasn't seen the movie and you're gonna get out of this, I think it's really good but not great. And I would actually say that it's probably Edgar Wright's worst movie, but to be fair, Edgar Wright's worst movie is like most directors' best. So I would recommend to see it, but not like full price, maybe just like a matinee or when you see it at Redbox or something. So let's get into one of the scenes. Sony actually released a 6-minute clip of the intro scene of the movie. So I'm gonna kind of talk about specifically what I was talking about earlier. So the part right before the bank robbery, I feel like is a little too subtle. And let's just break this down. And I kind of want to show you what I'm talking about when I'm saying that it's a little too subtle. So right now they're all in the car and there's a song playing that has 2 guitar hits. So it's like bam bam 2 3 1 2 3 4 bam bam 2. And what that is on the first 2 beats of that measure. So it's like 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3, etc. And when they open the door and actually get out of the car, there's 2 door open sound effects. So it's like open open, but they don't actually match up with the guitar sound, which I feel like it was a weird creative decision, because this is the very beginning of the movie and you really have to sell, and this is like your thesis statement to the audience, that all scenes will be driven by music. So what they do when they actually open the door is go on the 1 and like the offbeat before 2. So it's like if the guitar's like 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4, they open the door actually like 1 and 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 and 2. So it's like door 2 3 4. So it actually doesn't match up. I mean, it still matches up to the tempo, but it doesn't match up to the guitar, to the big accent within that scene. And I feel like that's a really missed opportunity. And for the rest of the scene, a lot of it doesn't really line up to any music at all. It's just like a regular car chase scene with little fun accents here and there. So like this stoplight right here that goes to the tempo, the sirens going to the tempo in this section, the cops getting hit and the cops getting their wheels blown out. So my ideas to actually improve this section would be an overhead camera for the very beginning when they're all in the car. So you can have a camera in the car to show that they're all in the car, and then cut to an overhead that slowly zooms down. So what you could do, because the car is like bright red and it would be framed by the street, the audience wouldn't have anything else to look at. And when they open the door, they could clearly see movement, and they could clearly see that it's lining up to the music. So this overhead shot, and then when the guitar accents play, the door open at the exact same time. So it would be like open, open, walk, 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 close, close, walk, 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 trunk, open, and stuff like that. So like it's kind of like a musical pretty much, with like choreographed things, and the actors could make that look natural but still ride the line between this musical fantasy. The next scene I want to talk about is the shootout, and I did say that I loved it, and I actually love the shootout when it happens, but I don't like the build-up. The build-up is actually really disappointing because the trailer does the build-up so well. In the trailer, Baby is listening to Tequila, and when the Tequila is said in the song, Jamie Foxx says it at the exact same time. It's like bam, 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 Tequila, and then the gunfight happens immediately. And it's great for the groove. It's kind of like a dubstep drop, because well, I know I just dated myself like 10 years with that reference, but in dubstep, or just like electronic songs in general with a drop, it's like pause, drop. So there's that little pause right there, and then it drops, and it's really intense because it gives you a reprieve and it shoots up really quickly. And I feel like the same exact thing happens with the Tequila gunfight in the trailer, not in the actual movie, because in the trailer it's like do 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 Tequila, and boom, it just happens and it drives that action.
What's you listening to? Oh, let me check. Tequila.
In the movie, it's kind of weird because it's like the opposite. Right when they walk in, he asks, "Oh, what's he listening to?" And then Jamie Foxx gets the earbud and he's like, "Oh, Tequila." But it's not when the song says it either. So neither thing is matched up. He's just listening to Tequila, which takes away the fun of the actual trailer. And then what happens is he's just listening to Tequila, and then they just have a conversation for 3 minutes, and then he starts shooting. So the buildup is there, but it is not incorporated with the music. And what I would do to fix this scene is actually to reverse what's in the movie and match it up more like to the trailer. So like they would walk in and then they would be having a conversation. They would start the conversation and Jamie Foxx could clearly see the cop signs. And Baby could be listening to the music and the cop could keep looking at Baby like, what the fuck is going on? And then at the very end of the conversation, when tensions are at their highest, he's like, whoa, yo, what's with the earbuds? And then Jamie Foxx would take it out and it'll be like, tequila, and then he pulls out his gun and shoots on the one. So it's like, oh, what's going on? Oh, let me show you. Oh, tequila. Pulls out, boom, on the one. So like, tequila, bang. And that is what would drive that action, and that would give it that groove that I've been talking about. Sorry if I went a little too in depth into the movie, but that's what I was looking for, where everything is very blatantly musical and it shows in every single aspect of the movie, because I wanted the movie to use the music to drive every scene, every second of the movie, and not just support it. And I wanted the musical aspect to be apparent to just a regular uninformed person that doesn't really listen to music or doesn't play music or doesn't have like a lot of knowledge of music theory. And I also don't think that there's enough action scenes. There's 2 car chases, like 1 foot chase, 1 shootout, and that little end scuffle thing. But that could be okay, but the story and the characters aren't strong enough to lift up the rest of the movie. The movie loses steam in the entire second act because of one thing. It loses the end goal. Because Baby has been wanting to do this last job to get off, and then he actually does. But not in the beginning or the end, because most movies, the last job is either at the very beginning of the movie or at the very end. Because if it's at the very beginning, they'll do that last job, and the rest of the movie is the repercussions of what happened during that last job. People died or whatever, like now they're being betrayed or framed or whatever. Other movies do it at the very end, so the whole movie is building up to this last job, and then the audience is like, oh, what's gonna happen? Are they gonna die? Are they gonna do it? Like, I hope these characters are okay or not okay or whatever. We're looking forward to the ending. But this movie, it places it right plop into the middle, and it just gives it no direction, and the audience gets bored. Like Red Letter Media talks about this. I watched this movie with my girlfriend. She said that, and I feel the same way, because now you're like, oh, he has a normal life. I guess I'm gonna watch this kid live his life. Like, he has a pizza job. He's talking to a waitress. Like, where's this going right now? Should I be expecting a romance now? Because there's no more action scenes. So that's like probably the biggest problem with the movie. So moving on to characters, Kevin Spacey acts like Kevin Spacey, and they don't really flesh out his character at all and his relationship to Baby, other than a few lines. And he has this big emotional payoff and this horrible death, but there's no build up to that moment at all. Because we can assume that he has some sort of surrogate father relationship with Baby, but they never show it. He sometimes defends Baby, but other than that, like, there's no real connection there. Jamie Foxx is also, it feels like an actor playing a crazy person. He just feels like someone acting like a loose cannon, and what the stereotypical loose cannon would be like. Oh, I'm just gonna shoot everybody in the face. I'm so loose cannon. I'm like, no, a loose cannon is unpredictable, not just a person that kills everybody constantly. If you're a person that kills everybody that you meet, that means you become predictable, which means it's not a loose cannon. You're just a really crazy, boring person. I would say the most interesting character is John Hamm, but even he isn't the best character in the world. He upstages everybody else, but he still has very little to go off of. He has like this theoretical backstory that may or may not be true. And he has like this nice scene with Baby, which is really cool. Like, he listens to music and he asks him about his favorite songs and stuff like that. I'm like, ooh, his favorite song. That's a really cool emotional payoff that's gonna happen later on in the movie. And then when he turns on him and he gets that huge stereotypical villain death, like, I don't know why he got the whole fall from really high and blow up death like all other action movie villains get, because he wasn't the focus at all until like the last 15 minutes. So there was no emotional weight to that death. And that whole last fight is paced so weirdly. And when he plays that last song, he's like, here's your song, baby. And he plays the song that is Baby's lucky song. I was like, oh, I thought this was going to be used in some sort of interesting emotional way. But he just plays it for like 10 seconds. And then his car falls off the building, I guess. Because I thought it would be something like Baby would use that song as motivation. Like, oh, I have to go save my girlfriend. I have to save the waitress. And he's blaring that while he's driving all the way over there. But it's like, no, here's your song, baby. 10 seconds and it's over now. So, in summary, I really liked the movie. It's a really cool concept. There's some fantastic scenes, but they don't really combine all those great scenes into one really great cohesive movie. So I would give it a 7 out of 10. So those are my thoughts. Let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know how I did for this unscripted episode. If I got better, worse. And yeah, so thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.